Hey, Mocha family. Welcome back to my 21-day fast. This year, I'm giving you daily updates of what my experience is like on my spiritual fast. I'm only doing this in order to encourage anyone out there who's interested in fasting, but you don't know what it's like. So I'm just showing you what my experience is like. I'm not claiming to be an expert or anything like that. If you want to know more details about my beginning weight, the parameters of my fast, what my goals are, make sure you watch the first video. So this is day 8 for me, my first day of no meals, but I am here to report on day 7. So yesterday on day 7, first thing in the morning when I stepped on the scale, I weighed 146.6 pounds. And this morning on day 8, when I stepped on the scale, I weighed 145.2 pounds. So let me share what happened for me yesterday on day 7. It was a really busy day for me. I had intended to hone in on homeschooling and, helping my other two with the work that they come home with all week from the umbrella school, and also reading. I have a boatload of reading that I do for the 2 classes that I teach at the umbrella school. But right off the bat, my day got interrupted because something's wrong with my daughter's bearded dragon. I had to take the bearded dragon to the vet and get the shock of my life to understand how expensive it is to take your pet to the vet, and the bearded dragon isn't doing well. So all of the sudden, I was thrown into trying to manage everybody's emotions about the fact that, the bearded dragon isn't doing really well, and the doctor couldn't figure out what was wrong, and it looks really bad. We had to hospitalize the bearded dragon. And so, still waiting to hear how he's doing, but school was kind of not the main focus yesterday. And so usually when that kind of thing happens to me, I talked about it a little bit on yesterday's video. Emotionally, I can get thrown off. I can be a little short, but I'm attributing the fact that I was able to calmly navigate my way through that to the time I spent with the Lord. The day continued to go not as I expected. When it was time to take my daughter to practice, I found out that I missed an email where they changed the time. So I was there 2 hours early. I had to renegotiate everything, to be able to get back on track. But I just laughed it off and found another errand to run, and everything was fine. Whereas I probably would have been having some kind of meltdown before. And so yesterday I pretty much, other than those emotional things physically, like I said, I'm coasting. A little bit of anxiety about today, but I even got through that. I didn't get a chance to watch those videos I said I was going to watch, but I talked to myself. I mean, it's gonna be okay. And the most important thing is to take it one day at a time. But what I wanted to talk to you guys about today is the fact that these videos that you're watching, I'm recording them as I go along, and I'm queuing them in my YouTube, video manager, so that they'll go live, but they're not gonna go live until after my fast is over. And my husband really encouraged me to do it this way. Now in the Bible, it talks about when you're fasting, you don't wanna brag about it and let everybody know what you're doing. It's something that's meant to be done between you and the Lord, and he that sees what you're doing is going to reward you. And so I've always thought about that as being a guard against doing it for the wrong reasons. But I think what I'm learning from this fast is that another aspect about not necessarily having to share with everybody while you're doing the actual fast. another aspect of that that's good is that it kind of safeguards you. It's safeguarding me against other people's reactions and the comments that they make that can kind of set you back and kind of be discouraging. You know, like, people have different ideas about fasting. We know that eating disorders are big in our culture, and sometimes people can misunderstand and they can make stupid remarks, you know, and people are so used to just throwing food in their mouths at all times that the idea of going an extended amount of time without food, some people really do have the fear that you will keel over and die. And so in the past, you know, I have thought that I've had to let people know that I was fasting so as to not offend them when I'm turning down something that they're offering. Or, you know, there's a Bible study that my kids go to, and, you know, when they were younger, they served snack at the Bible study. So one year when I was doing this fast, I wrote a letter to their teachers explaining that we were fasting, you know, and letting them know that my kids were fasting snack, you know, but not to worry about them, because when they're fasting, I always made sure I made a really hearty breakfast so that I knew they could make it until lunch. But the response that I got back, I mean, the teacher was really horrified, and she really struggled with how my kids would feel to be the only ones not having snack, and it really bothered her so much. And she kept suggesting, well, what if I give them the crackers but I don't put the jelly on it? Or I mean, that probably wasn't the specific thing she said. I'm just giving you an example. But she just kept trying to come up with ways that she could still feed my kids so that they wouldn't be the only one. And I think what's lost with that is the fact that a fast involves suffering, and I don't think kids are too young to practice what it means to be different and have to take a stand that's countercultural, and to learn how they're going to apply their faith to that and how they're going to cope to that, you know, cope with that. I think it breeds people that grow up to be adults who are able to obey God and stand persecution and withstand people, you know, not going with the flow, you know, just practicing fasting in this way, even with the children when they're young. I think it has that positive benefit and positive outcome. So I haven't actually told anyone outside of my family and you know, the body of believers we were doing the Bible study with before I started my fast. I told them I would be fasting, and I asked them to pray for me so that I'd be able to be successful with my fast. But that was just a small group of people. Aside from that, I haven't really let people in my life know that I'm fasting. And I've decided that when things come up and people offer me things, I'll turn it down, but I won't really, you know, offer an explanation. You don't have to offer an explanation. And as a result, I think I will spare myself all the negative energy, all the negative comments, and sometimes really erroneous stuff that could really start to eat away at your confidence and your faith when you're at a low point in your fast. And those low points do come. And so that's really all I have for you guys today. I'm doing great so far. I already am thinking about the fact that I won't be eating today, but yesterday was really fine. I was feeling a little tired at the end of the day after all that running around, but I just went to bed early, had a great night's sleep, and was ready to go today. So I will be back tomorrow to let you know how my first day of no meals went. So be blessed. Let me know in the comments down below what your thoughts are. Be blessed.